Moved over to the other section of our set here where I'm joined by our next guest, but let me just introduce her by telling you what research is showing these days. It says that research is showing that the leading party is less popular with eligible voters than in the past. The ANC will still win the elections. Research company IPSOS South Africa says the party is likely to get a 63% victory, followed by the Democratic Alliance at 22%. That's just what research is saying. We're certainly not predicting any results here. That's what the company has said. Maria Harris, who is a member of the company's executive team, joins us here to talk a little bit more about this particular survey. Good to have you. Welcome, Marie.
Good morning, Leanne.
All right. So how do you come up with this particular research amount? 63% for the ANC, 22% for the DA.
You know, I said to somebody earlier this week, research and political research is really an art and a science. You need to balance the two things. You need to do random sampling all over the country, where every person in the country of 18 years and older has a measurable chance of being selected. You need to do enough interviews in every province to be able to say something about the provinces. You need to make sure that your sampling points and the people that you in the end interview are representative of the population. So you cover all types of settlements, all population groups, all language groups, everything. But the art comes in the design of the study. It really needs to be random. You can't just interview people off the street and, catch people off the street and interview them.
Okay. Let's remind viewers that back in 2009, in the last general election, the ANC got 65.9% of the vote. Now we're predicting 63%. One would think with all of the voter apathy out there and the way that things are being reported, that it would be lower. And a lot of other political parties, opposition parties, are saying they are feeling that the ANC are not going to get in the 60s. But according to research, sentiment hasn't dropped that much.
No, sentiment has actually dropped a lot. If we ask all South Africans, 18 years and older, what they think, the ANC gets in the 50s. But remember that everybody is not registered. There's about 35 million South Africans who are eligible to vote. Only about 25 million of them are registered to vote. So a lot of people have already made the choice not to go and vote. And if you take them out of the equation, and you look at different turnout scenarios, because everybody of the 25 million are not going to turn up at the polls, then you actually, arrive at a higher percentage for the ANC. It shows that ANC voters are pretty committed to their party, though.
Yeah. The provincial vote's what's going to be interesting, I think, because you and I were talking a little bit off air, saying that this year is the 1 year where potentially we're going to see a very big split vote between the national and the provincial election. Talk to us about this.
This is the first of the 5 elections where we have seen this in polls, that people are voting for one party on a national vote and another one on a provincial vote, because we asked them, what would you vote for? And a lot of people are voting for one of the bigger parties on the national ballot, but then on the provincial ballot they're voting for another party. I think there are a few reasons for that, one of which is that they feel that a smaller party in a particular province that's devoted to a cause, or that is devoted to whatever, service delivery or something like that, can really serve their interests better in a province than one of the bigger parties can.
Yeah. Well, you talk about the provincial vote, and I come back to the DA now, because they are gunning for the province of Gauteng. That is, I think, what they're pinning their hopes on. I think the Western Cape, they feel quite secure that they will retain the power there. But Gauteng is what they're after. Do they stand a chance?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think they will take Western Cape with a bigger majority than last time, definitely. And but in Gauteng, I think the ANC will win the province.
Yeah.
I think the opposition parties will do a lot better,
including the EFF.
Exactly, the EFF is quite strong in Gauteng, but all the opposition parties put together is not as big as the ANC in Gauteng.
So not even a coalition could topple the ANC in Gauteng.
not at this stage,
Yeah.
but huge growth in the opposition. So that's really something developing, perhaps for the next election, that there's a chance that the government in Gauteng might change. I don't think in this election.
Marie, has this been an interesting one for you? I think everybody talking about this particular election being heated. It's full of stiff competition. That this year we really are seeing democracy in action.
I think it has been a very interesting one for me. I have two slight discomforts. The one is about the apathy among South Africans that we've already spoken about. The other one that really worries me is the youth that are not as involved as I would have expected them to be. You know, we always talk about the born frees, the new generation, the people of the future, but only a third of those 18, 19 and 20 years old are registered. So there's really, I don't think we're different from the rest of the democratic world. But still, in this country, I would have hoped that the youth would have more interest in their future and in politics.
Do you think that the reason behind the youth not registering to vote, not going out and voting in these elections, is that perhaps there isn't a political party that speaks to them, that they can relate to, that in this day and age, it's not fulfilling their needs? Do you think that's the reason?
I think you're so right. A lot of the political parties are talking about issues, big issues, but they say we address youth issues, but they don't really have a clue how the youth heads work. And you know, if you really can get into their heads and really provide them with something to vote for, because they're concerned about jobs, they're concerned about their future, they're concerned about what's going to happen to them, they're concerned about education. And I think political parties really need to address those things a lot more than what they are doing, and really make an effort, because I think that sometimes they take the youth for granted.
Yeah, I think so, because you know, the youth in these elections, I think in all corners of the world, are the main focus of attention in these elections because of the born-free generation. And in fact, so many born-frees have been followed their whole lives up to date.
Yes.
And we now look at them going and voting, being born into a free country, and what it means for them. And it's sad to see that not many are taking part in these elections.
I really think that's something special.
Yeah.
And I'm sad for them, because, you know, say 20 years down the line, they might look back at it and say, I had the chance and I didn't use it.
Yeah, indeed. Marie, thank you for talking to us. I know we're going to be talking to you a lot more as the day progresses and the voters go out to their respective polls. And one thing you do need to know is that in an hour and 15 minutes, the polling stations will open around the country. And